All right, we are recording. So, guys, we are so excited to just kind of share with you mainly fears and objections. All of us, the six of us, have started coaching for many different reasons, and all of us had different points of life that were kind of holding us back. And so, we just want to quickly share with you what it was that prevented us from coaching and how we just kind of pushed through those fears. So for me, my main fear was I started this journey on my health and fitness, focused on my health and fitness and looking for a way to feel better. And so when I was approached for coaching, I instantly limited myself because I didn't feel like I was a professional. I didn't feel like I had any knowledge to give to people. And so I instantly put myself in a category of not being good enough to coach because I hadn't reached my goal weight. Here I was, someone joining a group and a lifestyle, a fitness lifestyle, but I was completely a novice. And so I instantly had put myself into that box of not being good enough. And one thing that I found that's helped me overcome that fear is no one ever feels good enough. Even if you have all the knowledge in the world, you're never going to feel good enough. And that's what makes you the best coach, because you're going to be having that self-doubt the same way the people that you're going to be inspiring and helping are going to be feeling too. And it took me some time to get to that place. And then I realized no one wants me to be perfect. Everyone wants me to just share my story and be me, because that's what's relatable. You don't relate to the people out there in the world that are perfect or that seem perfect. If anything, they probably make you feel less than. And I feel like as women, we need to put more out there, put more realness out there. And that was kind of my big trigger of switching my mindset from I'm not good enough, I'm not a professional, to I do have something to give, and I do have something that I can help change someone's life with. And so that was a big objection and mindset that I had to overcome. And thankfully, it has steered me into a direction where I've been able to help so many people. So that's my objection. I'm going to lead it on to Courtney.
All right. So, as you guys probably heard in my story from day one, I kind of got started in this coaching journey because I wanted the accountability for nutrition. So that being said, that was also kind of one of my biggest fears, is that because I didn't really do well with nutrition, I, had that emotional eating background and didn't really know how to portion and things like that. I thought that people wouldn't trust me. So that was one thing that kind of held me back for a little bit. I overcame that because I just use what I've learned has worked for me. What's stress-free, what is going to help me and my ladies see results. And that's how I kind of overcame that. I also was fearful of the fact that I didn't really have a story. Like I have really had no like struggles in life, like, and I don't say that to brag or anything like that, but I just felt like people might not relate to that. And as you build trust as a coach, you will see how many things become your story. Like just the fact that I kind of was living this average, mediocre life became my story. And people so relate to the fact that they can be more than mediocre and be extraordinary in life. And then the last thing that was really kind of holding me back was I was so fearful of other people's opinions, or what they might think of me posting on social media. I dabbled in posting just in my regular life. I would post maybe once or twice a week, but I really, I love it. That's my creative side coming out. And I was just so fearful that it really did hold me back for a long time in coaching. But at the end of the day, if you're sharing your story, if you're sharing positive, uplifting, inspirational posts, about your life, what's worked for you, how you've benefited from joining this health journey with us. What's the worst they can say is, that's not for me. So at the end of the day, other people's opinions do not pay your bills. I always have to remember that because it is fearful at first to put yourself out there on social media. But again, you're being inspirational, you're being positive, and you're being that light to someone else where maybe one person can say, wow, I really, really relate to that. And that's all it takes to be an awesome coach is just to have one person say, man, I needed to hear that today. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Amanda.
Hello. So my biggest fears and objections have completely switched from when I started coaching. I did it for the discount and for me. Now things are totally different. I have a 5-month-old and a 3.5-month-old who I have with me 24/7, other than clearly, there you go. One is sleeping and one is crazy. So he's with me all of the time, other than, please stop. 1 second, I'm going to have to go in another room. Other than when he's in school Monday through Wednesday, and it's just for a few hours a day. Hold on 1 second.
So this just goes to show busy moms and busy, moms that are pulled away can do this job. Amanda has been rocking it with her coaching business while she's got 2 kids in tow.
Yes. So my husband is gone. I'm sorry about that. He is away with the Marine Corps this weekend, and he also is in the oil field as his civilian job. So he's gone more than he is home, and they are here with me. So my objection was, when the heck am I going to have time to get my workout in, even if it's 20 minutes, much less do anything extra because life. And I just did it because, he now is at the point to where every day he's like, Mom, you've got to work out. He's like, you got to do your workout. Or he will get in. Yes, baby. Or he will get in and do the workout with me. So I'm going to end on that because clearly he's not going to behave at this moment in time. But if you think you don't have the time, you do. You can fit it in. You make it work for you. So I'm going to pass it on now. I apologize.
No, I love that. That is perfect. Callie?
Hi, I am Callie. I have been a coach for less than a year, and I started as just wanting to work on me. And I think my biggest fear with coaching is that I'm a perfectionist. If I can't do it perfectly, I don't want to do it at all, and I don't want anybody to see me not do it perfectly. And so when I started my health and fitness journey, I didn't tell anybody because I had failed so many times in the past that I was terrified of people knowing that I failed again. And so that really held me back from coaching, because when my coach Courtney reached out, I was really depressed actually, and she was so positive. Like, you could just feel the positivity and the energy just radiating from the messages, not even in person. And she was trying to just like pick me up and fill me with this belief in myself, and I was just fighting her on it. I'm naturally a negative person because I care so much what people think, and that's even hard for me to admit, but I do. And so I always lean toward doubt and negativity and this perfectionist attitude. And I was like, I can't be like my coach. She's positive all the time. She is like this all the time, and I have to work really hard to be like that. And so that was probably what held me back the most, is I was scared that if I went back into that place of doubt, that I would be letting everybody down that I said I was going to help. So I think that was my main objection. And then when I actually decided I did want to coach, it was 2 months out from my wedding. And I told my coach, I want to do it, but I need you to hold my spot for 2 months. Because I was just really scared that I, again, wouldn't do it perfectly, because either I wouldn't do my wedding perfectly or I wouldn't do coaching perfectly. I didn't think I could do it all. And really my only regret with coaching is that I didn't start sooner. like, how many people did I not reach because I was scared that I wouldn't be perfect at it? And now I realize that I don't have to be perfect at all. I think people so appreciate when I'm not perfect and I'm not always positive. And they relate way more to that because who is perfect and positive all the time? You know, I thought Courtney was, and she's definitely not. She struggles too. Everybody struggles. And when you try to pretend like you don't, people get turned off. So I regret not starting sooner. I regret not starting as soon as I started my journey because I just think of all the people that I could have inspired along the way. So I can't go back, but I am determined to inspire as many people as possible now. So that's me.
Okay, I'm Katie, and I honestly, one of my biggest objections was kind of what Courtney said earlier about like, what will my friends think? That was the biggest thing for me. It wasn't so much what will like the vast majority of other people think. I really cared about the people that I am closest to and that I see every day. Like, what are they gonna think of me doing this? Because I had had several friends like sell different things, and I didn't want to be talked about in that way that they talked about those girls. And I was like absolutely terrified that when I started sharing on social media or just jumped in, that they were going to be like, oh, look at Katie, she's doing it now too. And they were like, and I was going to be the talk now, and I was terrified of that. But honestly, this is definitely not like, let me like I'm going to sell a product. It's definitely not like that. And if you look at the lives of the girls that are actually in it and in it for the right reasons, you will see that it's a community of girls that want to help people live healthier lives. And we kind of group together to do that. And once I found that out, that was kind of the main mission of everybody involved in this, then I was like, okay, my friends are going to see that. They're going to see that I'm doing this to share how I have learned to live my healthiest life. And then if they support that, like they have, then that's wonderful. And if not, then maybe they don't care about me like I thought they did. And luckily for me, most of them have like been super supportive, and I really don't talk about it too much with them just because if they want to jump in, I know they will, and I don't want to push that on them. But like the fear that I had that they were going to like judge me for it has definitely not come true. And I think that's been because of the way that I've shared about it. It's never been salesy, and as long as you keep it that way, hopefully your friends will support you too. And then the other fear that I had was time. I don't have kids running around like Amanda does, but I do work full-time, and I am a full-time graduate student, and it is a lot on my plate, and I'm the queen of loading up my plate. But this has been something so positive that I've put on my plate, whereas other things can be very stressful, and it's given me something that I have total control over. I don't have total control over my job all the time. Even grad school is an insane hot mess most of the time. But this, I know if I put in the work, if I do what I say I'm going to do, then my goals are going to reflect that. And that's all on me. So both of my big objections have kind of been shoved aside for the most part. But this has done nothing but positive things to me. So with that, I will pass it on to Andrea.
Okay, so my name is Andrea. I had like two huge big objections, and the first one was basically pouring my heart out. So all day long, I teach first grade, and I pour my heart and soul out to my 6 and 7-year-olds because I hold myself to a very high standard. And the fact I literally come home exhausted. And I would just come home and just sit on the couch and just once like cry because I was so tired. And I just felt that I didn't have the heart in me to pour myself into other women to meet their own goals. Yeah, I had time to do my own goals and hold myself accountable and check in. But once I got the opportunity to actually be like, okay, now I need to hold other people accountable. It was once again me pouring my heart out. And then I would have to pour my heart out to my family who lives in a completely different state than I did because I had guilt for moving down. And then I'd have to pour myself into my fiance and into his family. And it was just like I was constantly pouring myself out. When would I have time or even the heart to pour myself out to other people? So then once I got into the opportunity, it was like I wasn't pouring my heart out to them. I was actually like finding joy and fulfillment. And it was a different fulfillment that I got from teaching and from my family and from my fiance. And then the second one was actually confidence. I do not have confidence. I'm gaining confidence, but I'm still not at the mark that I want to be at. And so when I first got approached as the opportunity to become a coach, I didn't have the confidence in myself to even be a coach, to even know how to do coaching or even what coaching actually meant. And so then once I was like, if you knew me, you would be like, I'd walk into a room and I'd like cover my stomach, or I'd like fix my hair constantly, or I would like cover my face or cover my mouth when I was chewing. Every single thing I had no confidence in. So I was scared to post on social media. I was scared when anyone even asked me, wow, Andrea, like, what are you doing? I was scared to even say I'm doing Beachbody. So it was very like two extremes of my different kind of fears of it. One pouring my heart out to someone, and then the other one was just my confidence. But I realized through this journey that those two things are completely different, as in I get fulfillment of this, and my confidence is being given, like other people are building it up. And that's what I truly needed. They hold me accountable. They get my confidence going. So that being said, back to you, Lauren. Super quick.
I love that. No, I absolutely love that. And I think one thing that's been really cool is just listening to everybody is, as you guys share your stories, like I kept noticing my head shaking, yes, the whole time, just because as women, we sometimes feel so alone in our doubts, and like hearing everyone else share their stories, it's like, yes, I feel that way too. Or yes, like even the doubts and fears that I had originally, like just hearing everybody else's, like those were all things that flow through our heads and our minds and fears. And I think we can all say that, you know, we don't know how great it is until we actually push through and just decide to go for it. And I think, you know, like Courtney said, what's the worst thing that can happen? I think too, you get the tools to become your healthiest self. What's the worst thing that happened? You have the healthiest year of your life. And so we will wrap it up here. I am going to turn off the record. If you guys have any questions or just objections you want to share, let us know in the comments, and we'll be happy to, you know, just kind of share our hearts or answer any questions you might have.